My name is Claire Gusfridi. I'm the Executive Director at North Kent Connect. We're a nonprofit that provides access to basic needs and empowers people to economic independence. We minister to people with a food pantry, with case management, with affordable items in our thrift store, educational classes, and much, much more. It was time for North Kent Connect to do the next 3-year strategic plan. Our organization had been through a rough patch. I was operating like out here trying to do all these things and trying to catch up my board and my staff, and it just wasn't working very well. And our board president came to me and said, Claire, I have somebody that I think would be interesting to talk to. She's not really a consultant, but she works with this process called EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System. I said, what is that? Michael, our board president, brought Laurel Romanella, the certified EOS implementer, to North Kent Connect. What I liked immediately was that we are going to have our strategic plan on one page, both sides, like a 2-page strategic plan. I thought, this might really be what I'm looking for.
Prior to having EOS, we were kind of all over the place. Even as Director of Communications, it always felt like everybody was just looking to me to go communicate what we did. But we do so many different things, I never knew where to start. Running on EOS has given us priorities. It's given us an accountability and allowed us to find the right balance of what needs to come first, what is most important. Our 90-day rocks are almost heaven sent because they make us accountable for something specific and not just a giant position like communications. And that was the next thing that helped, was finding that having our L10 meetings, being together in a room, knowing that the rest of the people on the leadership team had my back as much as I had theirs, felt amazing.
So I started North Kent Connect a year ago. So just before we started on this EOS process. So I was able to see just a little bit of how things were working beforehand, and then to see the change and the growth with EOS. In my experience, we just have more clarity about what metrics we need to be looking at. So when we look at donor dollars, I know now that I need to be looking at them quarterly and changing those, as we know there's going to be fluctuations in how much money is coming in. And that's not something that we did before. We just kind of had this idea of what needed to go out when do we need to do appeals, when do we need to be sending e-newsletters, when do we need to be doing mailings. And now we have an actual structure for how all that needs to work.
So before we would have our individual meetings, we would just focus on our area and what we're doing, and it's really nice that EOS has allowed us to find out what's going on in all the other departments. I feel like we're all a lot closer. We know we can help each other because sometimes it takes more than one person figuring out a solution. So it's nice that we are able to give our feedback.
We've been using the EOS system in our department for about a month now, and the most helpful tool that I've recognized that has changed the way I do my job is recognizing that my issues are everyone's issues, bouncing my issues off of my team members and getting their feedback, because even though they're not directly in my department each day and dealing with the things I deal with, they come from a different perspective and a different viewpoint that I might not have thought about, and it's really helped me to do my job better.
Now that we're using EOS, I know that rough patch a few years ago would have been alleviated had we been operating on EOS. It has brought a structure and a process that we're putting in place. That's not my forte. That's not something I'm very good at. And as I'm discovering through EOS, I was doing the integrator and the visionary role, as well as the fundraising role. So I was sitting in 3 seats, and no wonder things were not very smooth. But what we found with EOS is that it's created a very cohesive team. It's given us a way to bring issues to the table, talk about them in an open, honest, authentic way. Every organization, every company has issues, but instead of dusting them under the carpet like I was doing before, just get along, figure it out, and we're actually dealing with them head on. That has just brought a whole new sense of unity, I think, unification among the team here at North Kent Connect.